The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com.
Welcome to the Old Time Radio Network Suspense Stories. Are you ready for a thriller, chiller, or the macabre? We now go back to the early days of radio and our imaginations with our featured suspense presentation.
Suspense. Forces of the United Nations, we present one of America's top spine tinglers, a radio rebroadcast of a program dedicated to the mysterious, the unusual, and sometimes the supernatural. A program of Suspense.
This is the truth. You understand? The truth. It must be the truth. It has to be.
Her name is Janine.
I, Robert Wensley Graham, a doctor and psychiatrist by profession, do hereby of my own free will and volition, albeit with deepest regret, make the following full and complete statement relative to that all but unbelievable series of events which has brought such disaster and misfortune to my house, particularly to my poor wife, Isabel. It had its beginning, properly speaking, some 2 months ago, to be exact, on the evening of July 25th. We were in the drawing room, Isabel at the piano, practicing, as she said. Her Aunt Jane and I on the opposite sides of the room.
You're as corny and false as the hero of your own book.
What's the matter?
Honey, let's have a little respect.
I don't know. I can't seem to keep my mind on anything anymore, even my music. Nerves.
Nerves?
Isabel.
Yes, Robert?
I don't wish to distress you, but it's going on for quite a little while now. It's not getting any better.
I know. Let's not discuss it, shall we?
You should let me prescribe treatment for you.
I could prescribe something for her.
You do remarkable things now with just the common old drugs under proper control.
Drugs. It's not drugs that she needs. It's to get out of this house for a while. It's to get back to the concert stage where she belongs. It's work.
Aunt Jane, please.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in beating around the bush. You're an artist. You've got talent. There's no sense in your trying to subordinate yourself to somebody else.
Aunt Jane, that's enough. I'm not subordinating myself to anyone.
Really, Aunt Jane, you mustn't interfere, you know.
Robert doesn't want me to go back on the stage.
Darling, it isn't that I don't want you to go back. I'm proud of you. You know that. It's only because I know that going back to a professional career in your present mental condition would be terribly harmful.
I know, Robert. I know.
Oh, after all, I'm a doctor. It's my business to know these things. I get it. Probably the hospital. Hello? Hello? Yes, it's Dr. Graham. Yes. Who?
It was Peter Cheney, Reserve Stanley Garner, and the late Tom
when would you like to see me?
They were the aristocracy of the primary.
All right. Fine.
But now,
No, no trouble at all.
In a real life.
Well, I'll be expecting you. Goodbye.
A single mundane bullet had ended his career.
Good.
And the primary suspect,
you suppose that was?
Who?
Roger Holcomb. Do you remember the case?
Roger Holcomb? I remember it.
Yes, you do. The fellow was brought back from the dead, as the newspapers put it, about a year ago.
Oh, yes.
I swear I didn't do
He really was dead for 4 full minutes, as far as medical science was concerned. Then Bates brought him around. It was a 9-day wonder at the time.
What did he want to see you about?
Well, something to do with his experience, obviously. He was in a terribly agitated state. The fellow had been walking up and down in front of the house for an hour trying to get up courage to ring the bell. Finally phoned from the corner drugstore.
Why, the poor man. Why in the world should he do that?
Anxiety neurosis. They hounded him, you know. Shocking way. Got out of the hospital. Preachers and spiritualists, movie agents, just plain fakers. People trying to find out if he remembered anything in 4 minutes. Supposed to be dead. People just trying to exploit him.
The neighbors said they heard a bit of a din.
Must be Holcomb now.
Yes.
Take him into the office.
I was having an argument with him. With no glass vases.
Dr.
I
Graham?
got carried away.
Yes, you're Roger Holcomb.
Yes.
Come in.
Women.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Holcomb.
He was my man.
Come this way, please. My office.
I don't know.
Now, just sit down anywhere. Lie down on the couch if you like. Try it.
Well, I was just...
Tired and
Give me your hand, please.
For heaven's sake, there's nothing wrong with my pulse. That's all you think it is, I'll go.
Why did you come to me, Mr. Holcomb?
Dark, Italian sort of woman.
You know my history?
Yes, most medical men do.
That's one of the big Italian fashion houses. Just on it? Yes.
Disappearance.
Yeah, most medical
Then
men
there
do.
was
all
Paula
right.
Stephen.
Then they tell me I'm crazy.
Two guys.
Think you are, Mr.
I
Holcomb?
don't know any of the
I
others.
see. You're like all the rest. Let go of me,
Just,
please.
just a minute, Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, I could
gave me
smell a
good
perfume in the
advice.
place. Thick and
Treatment.
heavy. And there was a
Just you
glass
tell me
with
your
lipstick
story.
on it. I must have left just before I got in.
I was told you. You
Oh, anything
specialize in strange cases.
I didn't
Things that
tell
other men can't explain.
And that's true in a way.
You know what happened when I got out of the hospital.
Please, Inspector
Followed me,
Normandy, I have to
questioned me, hounded me day and night, trying to find out if I remembered anything, had experienced anything
Melanie, give me another
beyond
5
the
minutes.
grave.
Any more interviews
Yes,
with your
I remember
client,
that.
Troy, will
Well,
have to be made
then
in
you
your
remember
cell.
my
And you'll
answer
get
to
written
all the
permission
things.
from her
I
lawyer.
remembered nothing.
Sergeant, take
I
me
knew
to the
nothing.
away, please. This way, Miss Lee.
Mr. Troy, I didn't
I was
just
wrong.
see
Oh?
that.
What did you
Truly,
experience?
my angel, I love you dearly, but there are times when you don't honestly think
must
she's
be
innocent,
something.
do you? Well, no, I don't
Something
know.
I don't even dare to think of.
Inspector,
How do
she
you know
is a
this?
redhead. Her
Well,
vital statistics are 30.
It happened the first time on a boat trip, which I'd taken to recover my health. I found myself chatting with a woman who was seated at my table in the dining
Have you
salon.
booked the
She found
Of
occasionally
course.
such women often will to mention her age.
Don't you know
She
that,
said,
Rennick?
after all, I'm not yet 40.
Like the ladies.
Then it
And a grey day. Who,
What happened?
According to my information, he was one of the most
Somewhere,
popular men in
came
London.
crashing into my
So,
mind
well,
certain
what's
knowledge
coming
of
to him?
the
He's
exact
double
day
crossed
and
the
year
letters
of
run
that
around the
woman's
place.
birth.
He just
And
filed
with
the
it,
contract with
a
his publisher.
compulsion to
Plus
speak
that his
out.
agent on
A
one
compulsion
occasion.
which I could no more have resisted
nothing.
than I could have resisted
Well,
breathing.
his place when he
I
was
said,
killed. Well,
Madam,
look.
you were born in May,
Troy,
weren't
too
you?
bad of
May
this one.
30th.
The case is closed.
She
It's
looked at me
not
in utter
closed.
astonishment.
Not
We
until
never
that girl
even seen each
tried
other
and a
before in our
verdict
lives.
came
She said, yes, and then I added the date, the year 1900. See, she was well over 40. She'd lied to me. Innocent enough thing, but I had known the truth.
Can I
Forced
help
to
you?
speak.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Troy, please.
I have been.
My name's Melissa Morgan. I'm the
This,
director of the Morgan Publishing Company.
Phenomena has occurred often.
More times
Don't
than I
get
can
so
remember.
startled.
Every time a direct lie, no matter how trivial, is uttered in my
frankly, I
presence,
can't visualize you sitting
I
behind
suddenly
a
know the
company
answer to
record
that lie.
That's unfortunate.
I know the truth.
But may I see
And
Mr.
I
Troy? It's
compel
about
the
the Rennick
speaker.
case.
And this
We are his publishers.
condition has existed only since
Oh.
your...
It's my
Yes, of course.
4
Excuse
minutes
me.
beyond the grave.
Quite.
It's as though, in that brief time, I glimpsed eternity. If I'd seen reveal all truth of all the
You may
ages.
go on now, Miss Morgan. Thank
I
you.
can never tell you how horrible this feels. I
Good morning,
found
Mr.
men,
Troy.
the most honest men,
Well, please sit down.
Thank you.
live by lies.
Tell me,
No, my
you have
secretary
a
said...
family, friends who are understanding?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Doctor, don't you understand what this has done to me? Yes, I had a family and friends.
Very sorry to hear
The
it.
girl I was going to
Bless
marry.
you.
Today I'm
Beg your pardon.
an outcast.
Oh, forgive me, Mr.
Pariah.
I've been a
shunned,
private
feared.
investigator a long time.
I
It
hate
must
it. Yes, hate it.
Mr.
I
Holcomb,
don't understand.
I'm investigating
Mr. Holcomb,
the
I
case
believe
on
that
behalf
this
of Mr. Lee.
condition is very
Yes,
real
I
to you.
know that.
I've been
Crosses
making a
your
lot
very
of
real anguish.
And
I
want to
heard
help
that
you.
Steve Rennick was about to drop the Morgan.
I'm confident that I can.
so?
Suppose you could
But
arrange
you
to
and
stay
you'd
with me
have
here at my
residual
home for a
rights to
matter
his
of
novel.
weeks or
That would
months
have meant
if
a loss of
necessary.
about...
Well, I'll do
$250,000
anything in the world to be a
for
normal
Morgan
man
Publishing
again,
Company.
But
Well,
what?
my father founded this company.
Dr.
Mr.
Graham,
Troy.
But there's nothing.
I can see that you
It
still
still
don't
is
believe
nothing
me.
without Steve
I
Rennick's
beg
novel.
of you. You don't know the
$250,000
terrible
for it.
responsibility I'd be to you. I'd be like a
Of
spy, like some inexorable prosecutor from another world. You
Now,
could...
Holcomb,
I could-
let me worry about that.
Killed Steve.
All right.
No, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to die, and I'm not saying...
Is there anyone else in your household who might object? Oh, no, it's only my wife and her aunt. Have your own quarters. It's quite comfortable, I assure you. I'm sure it's a lovely house for the scenery.
Yes, I'm rather lucky. I've
Well, now I'd like to...
researched primarily not much money in that, you know, but a couple of years ago I came into quite a nice inheritance. The house went with it.
take a delight in courting trouble, Mr. Sawyer?
What is it? What's the matter?
The inheritance was not yours. It was your wife's. The house is your wife's. You were penniless.
There's £300 here in my bag. Which you do, just that.
And if I don't?
That's true.
There's trouble.
I don't know why I lied to you.
About that £300.
Lady, please.
Pride, I suppose.
Just one client at a
I'm
time.
sorry. I told you I couldn't help it.
No.
I'll go now.
Please. Mr. Holcomb,
That's a
my
shame.
fault is a small matter.
But you see now that
I want to help you.
Don't
Do you believe me now?
I believe, Mr. Holcomb,
In between.
either that you are far more ill than I realize, or you'll diamond venture into a realm never before explored by mortal man.
There's a law against this now. It's called breaking
Utterly fantastic. Yet it was true. I checked the facts again and again. He could not possibly have known, and yet he knew. Could you imagine what this meant to a man of science? If I could fathom the depths of Roger Holcomb's mind, I could make a contribution to the body of scientific knowledge absolutely without parallel in modern times. Famous and Pastura, Eric. There remained the problem of Isabel. I was aware of the danger, of course. I was acutely aware of the peculiarly delicate balance of the mind at that time. The fact that the presence of a man like Roger Holcomb might be seriously detrimental to my rather well-conceived plans for Isabel. I believed I could control the situation, determined to proceed. Actually, Holcomb's presence made itself felt almost immediately.
After this much trouble, half of it,
Came
anyway.
after it.
Hasn't finished it.
Oh, look at the title. Honey buns and homicide.
Isabel, please stop that playing and listen to me.
Aunt Jane, you know Robert has said I mustn't talk about it, that it's bad for me.
I don't care what Robert said.
But he's my doctor and my husband.
And I'm not sure that he should be either.
Hasn't Melissa either.
Jane, I don't know much about psychiatry, but I do know that making trouble between a husband and a wife...
I'm not making anything that isn't there already. And you know it. Good heavens, girl. Look at yourself. Look what's happened to you since your marriage.
I've been sick.
He's made you sick.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe it's just that he's afraid of losing you. Maybe he's even afraid of losing your money. But I'm absolutely convinced that whether he's meant to or not, he's made you believe there's something the matter with you that isn't.
Aunt Jane, I simply forbid you to talk this way.
And now he brings this psychopath into the house.
And don't bring Roger into it. He's Robert's patient. It's Robert's work and it's none of our business.
What about your own work?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Aunt Jane, you simply don't understand.
I think it's time.
Robert is my
And they're
husband.
getting away, too.
I trust him and I love him. Nothing can ever come between us. I'd destroy anyone.
Front door, come on.
I'd kill anyone who tries.
Isabel, do something before it's too late.
Do what?
Get away. Leave him. Divorce him. Anything.
Oh, I hope we're not interrupting.
Police
Of
have
course
sealed
not,
off the
John.
apartment.
Hello, Roger. Good afternoon. How are you feeling, Roger?
Better, I think.
I think it would be better if we didn't discuss our
This definitely wasn't
state of
designed
mind,
to be
Mr.
a
Bell.
story.
Oh, of course.
Maybe that intruder knew we were there. Maybe he didn't.
Well, would you
Either way,
like me
it
to
made
play
no
something
difference.
for you?
Steve
You know,
Wentz
I think
apartment
I'm
had to be
beginning to get the
destroyed.
feeling
And whether a
again.
petrol
Really,
bar
I
was
don't
Sure we haven't interrupted some conversation.
Of course not. We were just discussing how helpful you've been in getting Isabel back to her work again.
Roger.
On top of
No.
that, Inspector Mellenby's boy
No, you
put
are
a
not.
police
You
seal on the
were
front
telling
door.
Isabel to
Right,
divorce
it's just a little
her.
more than tedious just then. I was in no mood for any jokes about barbecued private eyes.
I'm sorry.
Roger, come back.
Isabel, is that true?
You brought him in here deliberately.
Is that true?
It doesn't matter, I suppose. You've known how I felt for a long
Yes, I'm
time.
afraid I have.
Robert, it was all so silly. She didn't mean it. It was just
I
that
did
she-
mean it.
But I did mean it. I'm sorry, Isabel. But I've been under this roof too long as it is.
Oh, Jane, you're not leaving.
It's best, Isabel.
Okay, Julie?
Yes?
A fire
I think it's unquestionably best. Best that you go at once.
I just knew you'd get into some sort of trouble, Mr. Troy.
You or organized it, Miss Morgan? There was a police seal on that door.
She left us, of course.
But nobody's going to believe me.
I'd always believed that
Well,
Jane
I would like to
exercised
know
an
how Miss
unfortunate
Morgan got
influence
into
over
it.
Isabel. I did not dream it had reached such a point as this. Yet this incident gave me my first insight into the relationship which was destined to develop between Isabel, Roger, and myself. The first and most obvious result was that within a matter of weeks, Isabel was to lose every friend she had. We became further estranged as each day passed. Difficult to speak of even the most casual things with this
Anyway, they didn't actually come into the room, Inspector. Just shoved up the window and poured petrol over the counter. Well, I don't think there was any intruder.
The situation reached its inevitable climax the evening that Leopold Zorinsky, the famous conductor of the Los Angeles Symphony, called on Isabel with a view to resumption of a professional career under his auspices. Gave a great deal of thought to that evening.
Honey Buns and
Handled
Homicide. What's that? Well, that was the title of it. Just a minute.
Robert, you
Something
will
wrong?
help me, won't you?
Of course I will, darling.
I don't know whether you realize how important it is.
Listen to this.
I have nothing to
This is
do
a
with
copy
it now.
of Janine Lee's
I've been
statement
working
after
so
they
hard.
arrested her.
Playing
These
sometimes
Rennick's
after night
last
while you
words
sing.
were,
I've heard you.
too late.
Sometimes it
Honey
seems
Buns
that-
and Homicide, baby.
That the piano's
Honey
all
Buns
that's
and
helping me to keep my
Homicide.
sanity.
He must have been so negative to mention the
Darling,
name
I
of his book and his
want you
dying
to let me
bread.
prescribe something for you.
Miss
Time
Morgan,
we face this
how
thing
do you
in
intend to
trouble, I
do with
mean.
the
Robert,
manuscript? Half a book isn't much
does he
use for
have
anyone,
to
is it?
have dinner
We'll
with
have
us
one of
tonight?
our
Roger?
top writers finish it.
Isabel, you know how I stand on that.
Oh, yes, but
Now,
don't you
even-
want...
Well, there
Once,
are a
Isabel.
couple of people we can
Keep
call.
him in his
He
room
don't
like
work
a
for
spoiled
Steve
child
Rennick
when we have guests.
Yes, one of the proofreaders.
A girl? Troy, I just a minute,
Might not
Inspector.
do
There's a
everything
reason
I've
for this,
accomplished
believe
in
me.
weeks.
One of them's a girl, eh, Miss Morgan?
Oh, Roger, come in.
Robert,
Well, Miss Morgan?
I was wondering if I might.
Helen Fremont.
Just a night.
You're having dinner with us, Roger.
Must I?
Inspector,
No, you must,
I
Roger.
suggest
You know
don't talk to the
Why,
lady.
Roger,
May I
don't you want to
remind
meet
you
the
that
great
you're under
Leopold
arrest?
Zorinsky? He's really a
but I got
wonderful
hunch.
person.
I don't give a hoot about your hunch.
Oh, come
You know, I
on,
made my
Inspector,
debut
you know
with him in
about people
1934.
There
I
have
did
been
a
a
concert
couple
with
of
him
times in the
every
past,
year
and
until
I've
my...
helped you quite a lot.
That'll be enough from
Isabel.
you. Now, where do we find Helen
Very
Fremont,
talented,
Miss Morgan?
Her brother
what?
owns a cellar club in Silver.
I am.
The Carlisle.
Oh, Roger, I'm going to
She
play with him
spends a lot
again.
of
He wants me to
time
open the season in November. Can you imagine what that means to me? And Robert has finally given his consent. Haven't you, dear?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Isabel?
I'm sorry, Mr.
I
Troy,
said
you
you've
don't
given
have
your
to.
consent to
I'm
my
not
playing with
accustomed to Mr.
Zorinsky.
Fremont. I just
Isabel,
wanted
you-
to have a chat with your sister.
You know
Helen
I
is
don't
here, isn't
want
she?
you to think that
Who wants to
I never stand in your way.
I
The
know.
story's about Janine Lee and Steve Rennick.
Roger,
You understand?
I'll
Now,
do
look,
the
Carlisle.
Emperor Concerto, and you will
I'll be
come to
watching
hear me.
you.
You do want to,
You
don't you,
do that.
Roger?
Please, Isabel, don't ask things of me that can't.
What's the matter? What's the matter with both of you? You act as though you thought I wouldn't be able to appear.
You wanted to see me?
As though the
Mr.
whole
Troy?
idea were hopeless
Yes,
or
you're
something.
Helen Fremont.
I am going to play.
You know what I like about
I'll
this
be better
place?
than I ever was.
Just
You know I
easy
will, don't
substitute.
you? Don't you?
You know what substitute
Of course,
means? It
Isabel, you
means
play
fun and
wonderfully.
glamour. Then, of course, you know what the
Roger.
word means.
No,
Well,
Robert,
you're a writer, aren't you?
You're very
Hardly.
certain
Oh, but I heard
that
this.
Isabel will
What do you
be
want?
prevented from ever playing
I
again.
found it's an elusive
I-
thing.
Yes.
Much more elusive than that perfume you're wearing.
What are you driving at,
Oh,
Mr.
Isabel.
Troy?
The men will never tell you
Forgive
about that
me,
perfume,
forgive
Helen.
me, please.
It doesn't
I
become you
dare.
at all. It's
No.
too,
Oh, no.
thick and heavy.
Please,
And
Roger,
it's
it's
like
not
a
true.
trademark.
What do you
Tell me it
want?
isn't.
Rennick's apartment
Roger,
reeks of it the
answer
night he was killed. The manuscript of his
Answer me.
half-finished novel reeks of it, too.
Roger, do you hear me? Answer me.
Honey buns and honey.
Answer me!
And I don't mean that. You better tell us to let it keep away from me, and I like a space. I'm liable to want to change the shape of it. Why,
When
you-
Zorinsky arrived, I told him that it'd be quite impossible for Isabel to leave her room. The concert was canceled, and indeed, to my knowledge, she's never touched the piano since that day.
Yeah, but
What do you
By
want?
now, to even the most casual observer, it must appear only natural that Isabel had every motive for a desperate, almost paranoid hatred of Roger
you
Oakville.
killed Steve Rennick.
This much was clear to me. The rest, not yet.
First, I'll tell you this.
But one thing, from any point of view, was certain. I had to keep Roger and Isabel apart.
He only wrote one book.
Perhaps
the first one.
what I feared was indeed inevitable.
What the public say.
I honestly did not think it so at
But
the
he couldn't
time.
maintain the standard.
As a precautionary measure, however, I prescribed a drug for Isabel, which she at last consented to take. I gave her her own supply. She administered it to herself, as I had
You're
directed.
a ghostwriter. Oh, don't deny it. And Mr. Morgan spilled the beans down to Scotland Yard.
Oh, that's so I wrote tonight.
Roger,
I wrote all through
It's
it, but after that first.
What do you want?
let me
But that
please.
doesn't mean I
No.
can't.
Please, it's terribly important.
Robert said that
I know,
Huh? Let's look at the
but
facts.
he said it would be all right this time.
Now, it had to be someone who knew their way around
Yes.
Steve's apartment.
Yes, please.
Someone who knew where everything was kept.
No.
His gun, for instance.
I want to talk to you.
Just
that's
before
all.
you pulled that stunt with the
What
test
about
and matches,
It's so
I
important.
was searching his apartment.
Roger,
Now,
why
he
don't you
kept
ever
his
leave
gun
your
in
room
his bureau
alone?
drawer,
Can't you guess?
and it was locked.
Do you think I hate you?
So,
so, apart from Steve, only one other person would have the key.
You do, don't you?
I warned him. I told him it would happen. Now I'm going mad up here thinking of the anguish I've caused you.
But, Roger, I don't. You must believe me.
I know it's
Now,
like
coming
you
back to
having
that
me.
fire.
Roger, you see,
Now, the person who broke
first
into
time in
that
my
window
life.
didn't even use a torch.
I think
And the
my
room was
husband is
pitch
wrong
black.
about something.
Therefore, the intruder knew her way around. Knew where
He's
every
been worried
stick of
about both
furniture
of us.
was.
And so this distrust has grown up between us.
You're the one that
I
sits.
don't distrust you, Isabel.
And then we come to the reason
But
behind the fire.
you're afraid
Oh,
of me.
yes, the fire.
And that amounts to the same
Tell
thing.
me about that, Mrs.
It's
Clark.
bad.
That
For the
manuscript
both
beside
of us.
Rennick's typewriter was written on another machine.
I've often felt I wanted
That's logical, isn't it?
to beg your pardon.
Oh, you don't have to do
As
that.
I wrote the book,
We're both sick.
the manuscript would be written on
But
my
I think if
own
we saw
machine.
each other
Right.
sometime, if we
Page
talked the whole thing out,
149 is in the
would
roller
help
of
us
his
both.
machine.
Well, just,
He always kept a large
Robert
page in
thinks
his
so, too.
typewriter so that any visitor would
No.
assume he was working on it.
then
Oh, that's so.
then he didn't tell you it was
But
all
then
right.
again, on the sideboard
No.
next to the front door, we
I
found
lied
the
to
remains
you.
of some more of the manuscript.
I lied to you.
Yes, ma'am. Pages 150 to 160.
And it didn't happen.
So,
Isabel, don't you
You
see?
dropped those
I am
pages
getting
in
well.
the
It didn't
baby
happen.
first.
I know. I don't think
Two
it does
seconds
happen
before you
anymore.
pulled the trigger and killed him.
Except with Robert.
you're crazy.
He couldn't do the usual routine.
What makes you
slipping
think
the
that?
last page into his machine
Something about the way he acts,
because he was dead.
the way he is.
Oh, but Isabel,
You
he
continue,
is curing me.
Oh, I don't have
Perhaps
to.
you shouldn't have told
No,
me.
no, don't you
No, the,
understand? We
truth
must
is
see
gonna
each
look
other.
like
We
that
must
one.
talk.
No, listen.
But I haven't finished yet either.
Robert,
We still have to
something's
find
happened that I must tell you
Please, you're
about.
completely overwrought.
Oh, but Robert, it's
I must
wrong.
insist, Isabel, why did you do this?
I'm
You have to have
sorry.
a sedative right away. Isabel, get the bottle from your room.
Mine?
There's something
Yes,
else
please
in our
hurry.
apartment that has to be destroyed.
Robert, she lied to
The
me.
original
Yes,
manuscript.
yes, I know,
of
but
Steve
Roger, I must
Rennick's
absolutely
very
forbid you to
first
talk now.
novel.
You must trust
All
me.
right.
You wanna read it?
Later, I want to have a long talk with you.
Of course
She
we
lied.
shall.
Here it is. I brought my hypodermic.
Because he read
Glad
a
you did. The other one's
dedication on the
mislaid.
front
Someone, you
page,
give it to
didn't
me,
he?
please.
It read,
Yes, I'm
"For
sorry, but
Helen,
this
my
is upsetting me
devoted
rather
wife."
badly. My hands are shaking.
Robert, I'm
And that's
terribly
you.
sorry.
No matter now, give him the hypodermic, the upper. That's right.
You're making a mistake.
That's why you
Thank you.
tolerated him
Leave us
stealing
now,
all your
please.
glory. You have to do it. His publishers wanted it that way, didn't
How are
they?
you feeling now, Roger?
And they still want it that
I'm
way.
fine, Robert.
Because by now,
think I'm better
Steve
than I've
Rennick's
been in months.
name
I know you're-
novels just as much as their
so
plot
sensitive.
line.
Why, Robert?
But you have enough
I can't tell you all my reasons now, but you must trust
You
me.
don't know what
Oh, I
it
do.
is. No one could
Only
know.
that I'm afraid.
Janine Lee?
For your
That's
health.
the one who was falling in love with. The others didn't count. They were nothing.
No. You're afraid of murder.
What?
Murder.
Roger, listen to me. Roger!
Sure,
Murder.
Professor. But you're not going to live to repeat any of what
Roger, what are you talking about?
Don't be a fool. Put away that thing.
Roger!
We've got everything
Roger!
destroyed. And
It was clear to me now.
Oh,
I knew I must take immediate action. I knew that the most terrible consequences might result if Isabel were alone with Roger.
See, I'm still under
For a moment.
arrest for unlawful entry.
He knew that he'd said so. There was no other
It's
explanation.
okay, Inspector.
I thought it through most carefully.
Did you get all
Yet
that?
no plans are perfect.
Sergeant got it all down in shorthand.
No man is
All
infallible.
right.
No one's called me that in a long time.
Isabel!
Robert,
What are you doing?
nothing.
Don't lie to me, Isabel.
I'm not.
You were coming from Roger's room.
No. No, I swear I won't.
Isabel, don't you understand that you're sick? I've insisted on these things for your own good and his.
Steve's apartment all the time. All the time Janine was there anyway.
Oh,
She
Isabel.
heard the row every year.
Why do you try to tell me
That
that?
was the final
True,
straw.
Robert, really
He'd
true.
already
Is
taken
it?
his gun, so the thought of killing him wasn't
Roger?
new. As soon as Janine went into the other room to powder her
Roger?
nose, Helen came on out of the closet, shot Rennick, threw the gun on the floor, and lit out, leaving the repentant redhead to take the rest.
Robert.
As for the fire, well, it was the only
No, it
way to
couldn't.
get
It
rid
is,
of
he's
that
dead.
evidence without attracting suspicion to herself.
Hypodermic by his side, the drug, your
She
hypodermic.
wanted the secret kept.
But it's only a
Except in
sedative.
large enough quantity, it's fatal. You knew
Even
that.
though
Robert, don't listen to
Steve
me.
hadn't
Isabel,
allowed
why?
her to
Why? I
escape.
warned you.
Robert,
I
look
was
at
bound to find out about
It's
Helen
Isabel,
Maddox
it's your
and
wife.
Steve's
You
death.
can't. Oh, no.
Well, if it goes,
Where are you
Steve
going?
Allen
Come
was
back.
indicted for
I'm going to
homicide.
call the police.
It's quite a case, wasn't it?
It was perhaps the most terrible decision a man ever had to make, even though it did come not as a shock to me, even from my point of view as a scientist. It was terrible enough. Yet it had to be done, and I had done it. I did not speak to her as we waited, and she made no further attempt to appeal to me. She seemed utterly stupefied, perhaps as a result of the drugs she'd herself been taking. Perhaps because she suddenly realized she was hopelessly trapped. Police arrived. I told the story with as little emotion.
Yes, there are fingerprints, all right, on both the bottles.
Those would be my wife's, of course. They both belong to her.
Is that true, Mrs. Graham?
Yes.
Dr. Graham, do I understand, then, that you are formally charging your wife with the murder of Roger Holcomb?
Well, you could hardly expect me to do that, could you, Inspector? I'm simply telling you the facts.
Yes, but you said she hated Holcomb, and you knew it.
My wife has been mentally ill for some time. There are many people who can testify to that. She'll plead insanity, of course.
Well, Dr. Graham, I can't tell you how sorry I am, but the things you have told me add up to only one thing, as you yourself obviously recognize.
Yes.
Your wife, Isabel Graham, murdered Roger Holcomb.
What did you say?
I said your wife, Isabel Graham, murdered Roger Holcomb.
No. I murdered him.
What?
I tried to make it appear that Isabel had done it. And I succeeded. But I killed him. No plans are perfect. No man is infallible. Yes, I killed Roger Holcomb. And he himself revealed the truth. I'd planned to dispose of Isabel for many months. I'd never loved her. I'd loved only science. I wanted her money, and Holcomb found it out. That was the risk I ran. But any chance lie in his presence, either by Isabel or myself, bring out the truth, and it did. I had no alternative once he'd discovered that but to kill him. It's easy enough to throw the blame on Isabel. I had not counted on that terrible compulsion for the truth. That strange affliction of Roger Holcomb's and its power over me. Did it transfer itself at his death to me? Or was it constant? Pity that it had to end this way. It was a fascinating case.
And so closes Lazarus Walks, starring Orson Welles. Tonight's tale of Suspense.
This rebroadcast is a presentation of the Armed Forces Radio Service.